Hello, everyone, and it is so good to be back. Seth Dussault, the voice of the Westfield Starfires, here with you. Season number 4 about to begin, and I am joined by one of our newest Starfires, Rebecca Osowski. Rebecca, it's nice to meet you, and it's nice to have you on board for season number 4 in Westfield.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us what you're going to be doing for the Starfires before we really dive into what we're mainly here for today.
Sure. So I am a sports communication major at LaSalle University. I grew up in Westfield, and when I found out that the Starfires were coming, I was really excited to have that community aspect through sport back in Westfield. So now that I have the opportunity to work for them and do some journalism, broadcasting things, I'm excited to be involved in work in baseball.
Well, we're tell you what, we're really glad to have you on board, and we're going to start with a big one, a new manager for the Westfield Starfires and Kyle Dembrowski. And obviously it's a big moment for the franchise going into really, in a lot of ways, the first real full season that's been normal that we've been able to have in franchise history. So what are you expecting out of Kyle and out of this first season?
I think it's gonna be exciting. I mean, I haven't been with the Starfires, like you said, so I think it's gonna be interesting to see how Kyle comes in and makes a difference on this team and how they progress through the season and hopefully make a run in the playoffs.
Well, that's certainly the goal. The Starfires missed the playoffs by one game last year on the final day of the regular season. We're still in the hunt, won that season finale, which is something that's going to come up in our interview with Kyle that you're about to see, but got to get over that line. And we're going to now take it to that interview with Kyle Dembrowski, and you can hear from the newest head coach of the Westfield Starfires. Our first Starfires podcast interview. I'm Seth Dussault, the voice of the Westfield Starfires, and joining me, new to the franchise this summer, is Rebecca Osowski, and our new manager, the third manager in Westfield Starfires history, Kyle Dembrowski, taking over after being the assistant coach last year. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It's great to be headed back for another season of BullensMagic, and really looking forward to this summer, the 4th year in franchise history. And you were part of season 3. How did that happen originally? How did you get connected to the Westfield Starfires last year?
So lucky enough, within a 24-hour span, I actually applied to Westfield, and then actually to the job I have now here at Spalding University. I'm a graduate assistant coach down here. So really just luck of the draw and being the right guy at the right time. So really just came down to timing and luck above all. So I'm grateful for the fact that, I stumbled across both of those job postings within a 24-hour span.
And as we move into next year, you're taking over the new role as head coach. What was it like when you got that call from the Starfires that they wanted you to take over that position?
It was humbling for sure. This is really only year 2 for me as a coach. So the fact that our entire baseball group was willing to take a chance on me is something that I'll always be grateful for. And really just a good motivating piece is the fact that they do have somewhat faith in me. Obviously, if they offered me the position, so just try and make them look good this year.
Yeah, and it's your first head coaching role, if I'm not mistaken. So what's that like for you, knowing that you're going to have that kind of a position as opposed to all the years that you've spent being an assistant coach?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of trial by fire. In the few years that I've been in this so far, I've seen quite a few things that good, bad, and in between. So really just try and show up every day with a good attitude to the ballpark, and try and have that energy come out to the players as well, and just go out and play hard every day.
And you worked under Tony Deschler last year. What's the most important thing that you learned from him that you'll take into your head coach role this season?
That's a great question. I still talk to Desch all the time. He was a great resource for me, still is, honestly, and really a great baseball guy to learn from last year. I think honestly, just the in-game management side of things was, a huge learning piece for me last year. Just bouncing stuff off of each other throughout the game, and really just allowing the game sort of to dictate the decisions that were made. So really just watching him slow the game down and process things as they happen, and really just make one decision at a time. So he was a great resource and still is for me.
Obviously, a lot of big moments last year in your first season with the Starfires. What's one moment or maybe one game as a whole that you remember the most from last year, something that's always going to stick with you?
Roland's no-hitter to end the year was unreal. We had the powder blues coming out for the first time as well, and then we had the fireworks promotion that night. I'll always remember that. Honestly, though, I think my favorite moment of the summer was the one game we ended up in Pittsfield where they had the breakaway fence out in center field because of a little bit of flooding, and Danny Hussey going full bore, diving over that fence, making the catch, and coming back and needing to change a whole entire uniform because he looked like he just took a shower in his uniform.
I remember that. That was a game we scored 6 in the 9th to win that game, if I'm remembering it right, didn't we?
I think so. Over a 60-game season, they start to mesh together a little bit.
So obviously some players coming back and lots of new players. It's just the way of the world in college summer ball. Who's somebody who's coming back to the Starfires that you're really excited to work with again? And who's someone new that you think Starfires fans should be looking to have a big summer?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm excited to get Dan Hussey back again, just because he's going to go out 110% no matter what. Doesn't matter if there's a wall in his way, he's going to run right through it. He showed that last year. From the new player standpoint, honestly, I don't know if it's one particular guy that I'm excited to work with. My favorite part of really the summer ball experience is getting to mesh together with a brand new group of guys that you're going to be together with for, a 90-day period, and then most likely probably never see each other again. But for those guys that do get to form those lifelong bonds, that's awesome. That's awesome to see. And honestly, just being able to follow along with guys as they have good years. So another example of that for me is, Shane Audette was huge for us all year. And, seeing him win pitcher of the year in the conference back home with New England College, which is awesome to see. So really, that's my favorite part about it, is being able to see guys have success in the summer and then translate it back into their spring the following year.
And you talked about that connection that those athletes make during summer ball. What is your coaching style like, and how does that fit in with these collegiate athletes that come from all over?
Yeah, so I'm a big proponent of just going out and playing the game. I want to be involved as little as possible. It's not really my place to dictate a game one way or the other. Sure, it is in terms of writing a lineup card and making in-game substitutions, but when it comes to playing small ball or just going out and having good at bats, I'm a big fan of just going out and having good at bats, especially in a summer setting. These guys are playing different places, farther from home. They already got enough on their plate, so I don't want to add stress on there by taking the bat out of their hands at different points. I just want them to go out and play the game. So I'd like to think I'm pretty relaxed, but I can turn a switch on when needed if I need to become a hothead. But I like to be just relaxed, go sit on my chair and just watch the game, watch the guys play.
Big opportunity for the city of Westfield as a whole this summer. Starfires have been on Nesson twice, on the road both times. This year, Nesson's coming to Bullens Field. July 16th, it's against the Worcester Bravehearts, the big rivalry there. What does it mean to you, to the team, to the city, to have a home game on the biggest sports network in New England?
I think New England is going to enjoy some BullensMagic for sure. That's one of the unique things about the league is the variation in facilities and stadiums. And, I actually love the fact that Bullens is, kind of an intimate setting. You can interact with every single fan throughout the game. I mean, we can all make eye contact at one point or another. And then, having that sort of small town Westfield vibe in the stands is something really cool to be a part of, honestly. So I'm excited for that to be broadcast to the entire region.
So let's get to know you a little bit more. Who was your favorite baseball player growing up, and maybe also an athlete who isn't a baseball player that you've enjoyed watching or taken things from?
Yeah, so I'd definitely say David Ortiz. I mean, Mr. Clutch, come in every single time in a big spot and get the job done. So That's sort of the it factor there. And, it's rare for guys to possess that, especially throughout a 20+ year career. So he was always a favorite for me to watch. I would say definitely from a non-baseball standpoint. Ooh, this is a tough one here. I haven't thought about this before. Gotta give love to my guy Tom Brady, though. Been around for before I was kicking around. So really, really cool to see that he's still doing what he's doing at his age.
What is a talent or skill that you have that not many people know that you possess?
Hitting me with the hard hitting questions today, huh? That's a good one. I'm a great car singer, but that's just for me. I'm not going to let anybody else hear that.
Oh, that leads right into the next one, though, which is, what was your walk-up song when you were in college? How did you choose it? And then who's a teammate who had a really good one, and who's somebody that had just an awful walk-up song?
So the best one for sure, one of my best friends, Kyle Lippert, originally from California, came all the way out to Framingham State to play. So he went up to Tupac, California Love. That got the boys going every single time. Mine was Old Town Road, the remix with Billy Ray Cyrus. So going back, probably would pick a different song. But that got the guys going a little bit as well in the dugout. So big team guy.
What about the other side? What about one that you heard that you were just like, why would you ever pick that?
Let's see. That's a tough one. Again, you guys are hitting me with all the good questions today.
This is what happened.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with Cam McIntosh's song from last summer. That I don't really think that fit his personality the first time we saw it, but it got to be the point where everyone on the team would get fired up every time that song would come on.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah. Outside of baseball, what is something about Westfield that you're looking forward to coming back to?
Two Rivers burritos. I cannot wait to go get one of those.
That is a fantastic. See, you got this. That's.
I've been thinking about that one for about the last 3 months. So,
what's your order when you go over there?
You got to go. I'm actually a big salad guy over there. Their ranch is unreal. Got to go the beef, veggies. Get the honey jalapeno and the ranch.
Ooh. Say this is a man who knows how to make a good decision. This is why he's the next manager. It makes perfect sense now. So let's dive into your coaching career a little bit. Was there something at some point that happened that made you realize that coaching was something you wanted to get into? Or what was that like when you realized that was something?
Yeah. So, I've always wanted to stay involved in baseball beyond graduation. That was always something that, I sort of had in the back of my mind. But once graduation hit, real world hit. So I did need to go out and get a job. So I was fortunate enough to have a couple different sales jobs right out of school. Once the pandemic hit, that was, tough for a lot of people. But honestly, it was probably the best thing that could have happened for me personally. Ended up losing my job there, and had a free spring to sort of dive into the other side of baseball from a coaching standpoint. Had an opportunity to join an AAU program that I was affiliated with throughout my time as a player at Framingham State. So, always grateful to Metro West Sports Center for giving me the opportunity there to start getting some experience in the dugout. And, again, Worcester State, always appreciative to Dirk Baker as well for taking a shot on me last year. And up to this point too. So had a few stops along my way, but I think I've had the opportunity to learn a lot from some great baseball minds. So, I'm just glad that it led me here today.
And you talked about your coaching style a little bit. What is the most important thing you did as a player that has impacted that approach?
Honestly, I think just the ability to be comfortable with failing, especially in a game of baseball. 3 times out of 10, you're considered good at what you do. So just taking that sort of approach to everything I do at this point, is that you're going to make mistakes, just make them aggressively, learn from them, and move on. And that's the importance of having a short memory as well. Obviously, you want to learn from your mistakes, but you don't want to get hung up on them. And that's really something that I've been conscious about carrying over from my playing days into the coaching days.
Now, you've talked about your stops at Framingham State as a student athlete, at Worcester State as a coach, here in Westfield. What's it been like going completely out of New England? You're down in Louisville at Spalding University. What has that experience been like, and what have you gained from it?
Well, it's funny you just said Louisville. So coming down here, I called it Louisville for the first couple months, and the locals will get on you real quick about that. So, I wanted a little bit of a change of scenery as well, having grown up and spent my whole life in New England. I wanted to see what else was out there. From a baseball standpoint, it's been great for me to see different styles of play, and see different opponents that I typically would have never seen outside of maybe a spring break trip here or there. So it's been great for me just to absorb and learn as much as I can along the way, and try and get a new perspective of somewhere outside of New England as well. So.
Anybody that you would say has had a particular influence on your coaching style, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be somebody who coached you, but is there anybody that you think you've taken maybe more from than most?
I would say probably a combination of Matt and Mike Edmond. I played for Mike at Framingham for a few years, and I definitely wouldn't be sitting here today if he never allowed me to walk onto the team as a freshman. So always grateful to him for that. I've learned a lot, both from an offensive standpoint and just a baseball standpoint from Mike. And then, having Matt around for, the past couple of years, and also having him as a resource has been really great. So those are 2 great baseball minds that I'm very grateful to have a relationship with. And, I think they've definitely helped me mature and progress from a coaching standpoint.
Last one. You're the manager now. You're the guy in Westfield. What do you want to say to the fans to get them fired up for this season that's coming up in less than 3 weeks?
Yeah, so we'll see you soon. Hope everybody can get out there. BullensMagic is something that you got to come experience firsthand, and there's no other way to describe it. From all the promotions we got going on throughout the game, to again that intimate vibe, it's a great time, good family friendly fun. So just come out, watch the boys play hard, and we'll try and tack some runs up on the board for you.
Thank you so much. That is Kyle Dembrowski, the manager of the Westfield Starfires. Appreciate you coming on and taking the time. Looking forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for having me. Looking forward to seeing you guys as well.
So that was Kyle Dembrowski, the new manager of the Westfield Starfires. Rebecca, what was the most interesting thing that you thought Kyle had to say as we chatted with him for about 20 minutes there?
Oh, I loved a lot of what he said. I really enjoyed how he talked about his experience kind of being in New England, and now that he's in Louisville, that's an exciting new experience. And I think that he's going to bring a lot of new strategies and things back to Westfield.
Yeah, it's certainly a very different place being down in Kentucky versus up here in New England, where he spent most of his baseball career and his life. So big opportunity for him, and hopefully that'll be something that'll help out the team. We're only 3 weeks away. May 26th is coming quickly, and that home opener coming up, some big dates this summer. The game against the Worcester Bravehearts on Nesson in July on the 16th. What's something that you're looking most forward to this year, Rebecca, for the Starfires that's coming up?
I'm just so excited to be there and help the team in any way I can to be successful. I think it's really exciting. They've been on Nesson before, and I think it's awesome that now we get to showcase Bullens and what Westfield is. I think that's going to bring a lot of attention to us, and hopefully we be successful in the spotlight.
Well, the Starfires are unbeaten on Nesson, 2-0. So hopefully the BullensMagic will help that become 3-0, and hopefully it'll help us get into the postseason for the first time in franchise history. We were so close last year, and so many magical things that had happened last season and all 3 seasons so far. I think this one's going to be the best yet. Want to thank everybody for tuning in with us, and we're looking forward to seeing you on May 26th for our home opener, the first of a whole lot of BullensMagic this summer in Westfield.